Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Sama, Seattle Circuit Music and Art. I'm Darek Mazzone, your host. Thank you much for being here. We are obviously still in the middle of interesting times in the world, to say the least. And one of the things that we continue to do, as we can here at Sama, is present you interesting artists and interesting music that are trying to make a difference in the world by either combining traditional instrumentation and have a history and a process of sharing music tied to a way of looking at life, or creating new sounds and new concepts to bring people together. And sometimes they find a way to make both of those energies work. And this is the band that I'm going to be talking to today. They originally originated in Marrakesh in Morocco. They have a tradition based on Gnawa, which is a genre I love, but they're taking some really interesting twists to that. They're known as Bab L'Bluz, a gateway to the blues. They have a record out on Real World Records called Nayda, and they're reclaiming the blues for North Africa. They're fronted by a Moroccan woman, Yousra Mansour, which is super rare in Gnawa because it's mostly, let's say, 99% fronted by men, mostly men performing this music. And the band is devoted to a revolution in attitude that dovetails with Morocco's nayda, which means up, I guess, youth movement, a new wave of artists, musicians taking their cues from local heritage, singing words of freedom in the Moroccan-Arabic dialect of darija, ancient and current, funky, rhythmic, buoyed by Arabic lyrics, soaring vocals, bass-heavy grooves. Nayda seems to pulse from the heart of the Maghreb. Obviously, I am reading a liner notes and a PR. Great job, PR person who did that. But it really feels good. It's a great record, and it's I'm stoked to be able to have them here right now. So let's bring them from the ether into our space here. Hello.
Hi. Hi.
Hello, Bryce. Hello, Yousra. How are you doing?
Darek. Fine. And you?
We're doing okay. It's up and down. So you're based in Lyon right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
How are you guys surviving? What's your process now? Not in a surviving is like, what are you eating? But how are you guys mentally surviving this time that we're in?
We are so lucky to still get a chance to play even in this crazy time. So I think we don't have something to complain about, even if it's so hard. We almost stayed for the first time 7 months without playing, and then after we had a later opening and we did some concerts, and then again a lockdown for 7 months again.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird, but every time we had an opening, so we could do some concerts, and now we have this chance to perform even with lots of consolations, but we're very lucky.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So let's hear some music right now. Let's watch some music, and then we'll talk about what that process has been like. beautiful music from Bab L'Bluz. Tell me how you guys got together. How did this interesting project happen? There's so much to talk about, but let's start with the origin story.
We met in 2016.
And 2016.
We met in 2016 in Morocco, in Marrakesh. We used to play with like a band who want to mix Gnawa music with it's more like a collective Marrakesh jazz beat who try to mix Gnawa influences and funk and jazz and kind of stuff like that. Yousra was the singer and I was a guitarist for the band. And
what was the band called?
Marrakesh Jazz Beats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Specific.
So like yeah.
Yeah, and we play with Gnawa musicians, and we love that instrument. First of all, we don't want to play it because we respect a lot Gnawa music and the great Malay means the Gnawa master of Gnawa. And after with Yousra, we decided to learn it together because we often look to the Gambri. We don't want to play it. And one time we take it and we can't stop to play it. And at the same time we were learning, we told us, oh, let's do a rock band with the Gambris, and that's how the story starts.
It's like we fell in love with the instruments. We knew the music before, and it was the first time like meeting each other, and because it's a very specific area and tradition. Like we were not. We haven't allowed ourselves to go to and start learning the instrument, even though we knew a little bit this music. Once we started to play, it was like a challenge for both of us to start like a 3-string instruments and start at the same time learning it and composing, because the ideas came while we were learning and on the process of learning.
Yeah, but
How did that
feel really great. And but even if you just have 3 strings, this instrument is really complete. You can. It's like, for me, it's like an orchestra. You have the bass line. You can have the contre-champ and the rhythm parts all together. And for me, it's a synthesis. It's comment on dit, ouais. A synthesis of synthesis. Yeah, sorry for my English.
Okay. No. Your English is way better than my French. Trust me. Do you have it?
For the moment.
Do you have
Sorry?
it there? Can we see it?
The Gambri?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is the traditional Gambri.
It's my friend Malem Zakaria Ouara, who gave me in Rabat in 2015, I guess. 16, sorry.
Yeah, you have a bass sound, and it's the traditional one made of wood and camel skin.
Camel
Okay.
skin.
Yeah.
There's something about that instrument that you're not the first person to tell me this, and that there's a connection that certain musicians have with that instrument. And I always ask this question: why? Why that instrument? There's a bunch of instruments you could play, but what is it about that instrument that creates that synthesis, that symbiotic relationship? And I know, because every time I hear it, it's like, whoa, something magical is going on there.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only one. And it's also, there's I've had other Gnawa artists on my shows, and there's something, as soon as you hear it, doesn't matter what it is, what kind of genre, funk, jazz, hip hop, as soon as you hear it, it has it has a unique sound that
Exactly.
kind of like, okay, we're in a different place right now, a different world. It's like mystical, and it is. But
Yeah.
what is it about for you that made you go like, I want to go there?
Yeah, for me, it's the magic of the sound. It's like a living instrument. It's like you got a soul in it, and which is very, very weird. But the first time I heard this music, like I heard it when I was young, and I was in trance, and every year since I don't know, it's not the beginning of the festival of Essaouira, but the first editions of the festival, I went every year with my family to be in that trance and to live that moment, because it felt so magical, and it was an escape from a hard reality for women in Morocco. So it was a refuge for to get this peace of mind and to get this healing from all diseases around.
Let's hear some more music and see some more music, and then we'll come right back to it. Okay, here's Bab L'Bluz.
من قلبي سلام إلى خواتي وإخوتي
Hey, you're watching Sama. I'm here with Bab L'Bluz. Their new record on Real World is called Nayda, and we're learning about Morocco. We're learning about Gnawa music, and specifically, we're going to. I want to ask you a couple of questions, Yousra, specifically, and Bryce. I promise we'll get to you, but I want to know you're fronting this band, presenting a music that doesn't really have women playing it, especially in front. And you were talking about, the hard reality for women in Morocco. Can you tell me more about this and how you went from this hard reality to going like, nah, I want to have this instrument and I'm going to be up there singing and playing in front of everybody? How did this journey happen?
I think the hard reality was always there in the society, a patriarchal society that gives all the rights to the man, and a woman is always judged based on what she's wearing, how she's talking, like simple stuff. You have to pay attention to everything you do to survive in a peaceful way. But I don't think the Gnawa music was the problem, like playing the gambri, because when I started with the guitar, and it was like a real fight because I was judged, I know, and all female that decided to play instruments and to choose music as a way of living went through this. So we were called a whore or alcoholic or many insults and like why you are doing stuff that's only made for men. And the fact that I lost my dad very young when I was 10, and like I was only sisters, I had only sisters, make me feel that I really need this fight. I need to stand up and for my family, for my sisters, for my mom, and my mom teaches me that. So it's like we're fighting for women power and at least for justice. And the music is the best way to go and to get to this goal by like doing stuff that we are not supposed to do. Even if it's just choosing music was for many people a wrong decision, and playing guitar also, chilling with the guys and with like musicians was a wrong thing to do. But after like 10 years after, we can say that things has really changed, and I think that's the fact that we have also lot of females that did the same path, which is great. Changed the mentalities. So now and once we started playing gambri, we had only encouragements, nothing bad at all, only good support from people, even from all the Ma'alimin of Gnawa, which is really great.
Okay, so they're open to that. That's good. I heard that there's like, and you're a musician, you kind of have to be a little progressive at least, unless you're just doing classical music. No offense to classical players out there. I love you. But there is like, and you actually speak to this about the youth movement, and I'd love to hear a little bit about that. Like how are you alone? Are there I know a few, but are there more women in Morocco that are picking up this instrument that are saying like, no, this is part of my heritage and I need to have a place in this now? And also, how does this, can you speak a little bit more about how does this dovetail with what's going on and this youth movement, not just in Morocco, because if you say there's a lot of Moroccans all over the world, and so they must import this a bit. Maybe not. I mean, as sometimes immigrants, when they leave, they become conservative. It's strange. They leave the country and they. So how does this work in this space? That's a winded question. I'm sorry, but you got.
Yeah, if you get precise a little bit. So we can start.
So how does this? Are there other women? Are you part of a scene where there's other women that are doing what you're doing, that you feel like you have a movement in the space, or sometimes it's just you? And if you are part of a movement, how does this work with the broader dunya movement in Morocco?
I think it's a movement because we can find many girls and women that are now interested in playing traditional instruments or working with traditional music, but in a different way. For example, traditional Gnawa music, you can find Asma Hamzawi, which was the first Moroccan girl to take the gambri and sing in front of people in a very conservative and traditional area. So big up to Asma Hamzawi. We're a big fans of what she's doing. And we have also Hind, a little girl that she's also a young girl that she plays. She's very good and she's very talented. But also she do more traditional Gnawa music. We have many girls that deal with the traditional music differently. Like in a path of was the first, I think. And Hindi Zahra were the first ladies that gave this vision and this ambition to young girls. So we can find also Leila, Qamar, and many girls.
Even in hip hop. There are a great feminine hip hop scene now in Morocco, even in rock, metal. Now it's time for girls and young people.
But I think the movement the movement started as well with the nayda movement, like with the boulevard scene, the festival Boulevard. That gave this
a metal festival
metal
in
festival.
Casablanca.
Gave this opportunity to young people to express their anger about being obliged to do stuff that they don't want to do, especially when it comes to conservative families and religion and thoughts and beliefs. And this scene was a very a great spot for artists to express themselves, and from there I think also the female race to take control.
Perfect. Oh, that's great. So A, you have a lineage, and B, you have so much to work with. It doesn't feel like you're just creating for yourself or for this moment. It feels like that. So you answer my question well, where it's like there's you have a reflection on your reality right now, that this music is playing a role in documenting as an artist. Because often in a situation, it's like, I'm talking to artists all the time. You're an artist during COVID. What are you doing? Some artists are like, I'm just going to sit here and wait for normal to come back. And others are like, no, I'm going to take this and transmutate it in some form or another and create something out of it. And some are like, in certain countries, it's kind of like, they're rich. It's been the same system for a while, and they're just going to do whatever. But it seems like, and this I'm getting a lot from a lot of North African and Middle Eastern countries, it's in transition. And sometimes you have a repressive government, and that suddenly becomes very conservative again, or the government and culture is open and there's an opportunity. I'm not saying it's forever. We've all had springs, Prague Spring, Arab Spring. So it's a moment and the mic comes back again, but it's changed. It's like they're not going to take this in. Hopefully, they're not going to take this instrument away from you, like the Taliban, and go like, you put on a burqa and you're never to do this again. It feels like there's momentum, or am I wrong? I know that there are political parties that are like, no, this is bad. But does it feel like you can do this? Like the doors are open. They're not going to close again.
The doors are open. You're not allowed to sing because of COVID. You cannot do concerts and play in front of many people because they just they are worried about people
dying.
Yes, so which is understandable. But nobody is telling no, we should stop music because it's a bad thing, or culture is bad, or no, we're gonna all wear a scarf. Scarf?
Mask.
No, to mask. I'm talking about thing for conservative people.
Oh, like a hijab?
Yeah, like nobody is telling female to do things that they want to do. We can sing. We still have our freedom. We can do whatever we want in Morocco, but we have like some stuff that need to change. But it's not now that it's become a bad reality. It was here for many years. Like the fact of for example. Having sex before marriage or avortement, like for abortion.
Abortion. Okay.
Yeah, like these things were never allowed. So we are fighting so that it can be allowed one day, and so that it can be right one day. I think the path is very far. We are very far from there, but it's not impossible. And I believe that with all female that want to, and all people, even guys that want things to change, we will get there, inshallah. And for music, we are always looking for the heritage. The heritage in Morocco is very highlighted, which is great by the government, by the people. The music is something very sacred for everyone there. So we believe that with music we get rid of our pain, we celebrate our joy. So it's very present there. I'm not afraid for music because it will remain there and it will always shine there.
إيجابي 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 أوه إيجابي غير خلونا أوه إيجابي 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 الله يعطيكم الصحة الدراري.
This is great. Thank you. We're covering a lot. Okay, so another thing that kind of came out of this thing, which is interesting, because I did a project with an ethnomusicologist, recordist out of Poland, who went to Egypt to record the dome and Zakir styles there. They were underground because the CC government is like, no, like what your government is doing, celebrating, they're trying to keep everything under control. Obviously, Cairo is gigantic and Egypt is a complicated country, and there's a different kind of system in that. You don't have a monarchy like you do in Morocco. But the thing that works in both, we talked about this, so like the connection between Gimberi and Gnawa and all that, is that it's healing. Healing not in a context of like, I got a cold, but in a context of like, I've got something here and I got to figure out a way to do it. And the way this was described to me is that there's a performance, and there's usually, often women are the patients, come in there because of the pressures of society. And if they react to a certain song, that's the thing, that's their diagnosis. And so like here, here's a Xanax, here's a Klonopin, here's a Prozac. But in this culture, it's like if they're reacting to that, that means that spirit is there and that song is working its way out through them some way, somehow. Is that similar to what you're seeing in Gnawa? I mean, obviously you're a rock band and you're creating great videos and everything, but I'm just like, we started talking about the tradition and healing. Is there an aspect of that? And if you don't know, fine. But is there an aspect with Gnawa where it's like, because I've been to shows, I've had both Gnawa and Jujuka, and this is one of the reasons I started this. Like my first show was with Nusrat Ali Khan in his prime, and we were someplace else. The whole audience was just like, what the fuck just happened? And that's powerful. And I've seen that with Gnawa and others. And that's the reason I was like, I want to do Sama. Because, you know, and I get this also, a great rock show, a great metal show, especially metal, you're like, something happened to me. But it's loud and it's crazy and everything. And there's stuff. But with just that sound, that resonance, you're like, I'm getting verklempt thinking about it. But you're transcended. You're going someplace else. But I don't know enough about Gnawa to say that it has that quality. It's actually trying to be healing. Is it?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, music in general, I think.
Yeah, but in a specific way, the Gnawa ceremony, like people are coming to get rid of bad spirits inside of them, or disease or sickness. So they come for a specific something to remove. And yes, we can find also some songs are called Aisha, Mimoun, and all these saints or spirits. The Gnawi believe that it exists, that they exist, and they believe also that when you play this song and someone start to get in trance and fall, for example, falls down, so this person has Aisha inside of it. So this song is for Aisha, and Aisha needs to go out of the body. So it's weird, but yes, it's for a healing.
Okay.
Purpose.
Perfect. Thank you for answering that question. That's awesome. Yeah. That's great to hear. Bryce, how did you get into this? What's your I know you were there, but like I'll go deeper. What made you fall for this music? Fall, that sounds weird. What made you fall in love with it? There's a lot of places to go. What was it about this?
Yeah. But before I was a guitarist, so people called me in Morocco to play with them. So I discovered the Gnawa style. I heard before when I was young with the fusion between Led Zeppelin and Gnawa master in Marrakesh. That's the first time I think I heard about Gnawa. And when I came to Morocco, it was like a revelation. I always been into Afrobeat. I know Cuban music, Brazilian music, and for me, music it's universal. It just keys and limits in the styles. You have to learn that for understand the style, and so I play with different bands in Morocco, try to make a project, and when I start to play Gambri with Yousra, I go in the Medina. I was living there, and I met a lot of ancient Gnawa masters. They become my friends, but they don't speak French, so I have to speak darija, the Moroccan-Arabic. At the same time, I was learning the Gambris. I was learning the Moroccan dialect at the same time, and it was a mixture, and it was tasty for me. And for me, it was like a clue, a key for the music in general. I understand something about the clav, like a Cuban clav, Brazilian clav, funk clav, rock clav. It's the same in Gnawa. Most of the European people, maybe it's the same in America. They know binary, ternary music. The Gnawa is between. It's more like J Dilla or Madlib. I don't know. It's more like that or like that. And for me, it's like comment tu dis quand c'est I don't know.
Offbeat?
No, it's a symmetric conception of perfection for me.
Okay. Okay. So it's like swing?
Yeah, it for me, we told that Gamebrew is the ancestor of the bass, of the double bass. For me, it's logic. It's just a piece of wood with strings, and it swing, it groove, and the groove can be perfect. I'm a beat lover. I love a different kind of beats, but Gnawa beats for me it's really funky. You have a bit of jazz, bit of funk, bit of hip hop, bit of everything I like. I think.
No, it's true. It works well in just about everything. Because I remember when I first got turned. I mean, I got turned on to it really early with field recordings because I'm a nerd. And then when I started hearing Gnawa, some of the bands coming out of France, and then some of the jazz musicians like Hassan Akhmoun working with Adam Rudolph and some of the deeper, crazier jazz artists, and then started to hear stuff from Morocco, such as you guys remember the band Alam out of Morocco? Aisha Kandisha's jarring effects and all that particular vibe. There was a scene that was going on. It was early. It was like mid 90s. And it was the first time that we started to hear like street culture from Morocco. And it was an interesting, I'll send you the stuff. It was a Swiss label called Faratish, I believe. It's ages ago. But it was like, wait a second, something's going on here. And it's coming from Morocco. It's not coming from Paris. It's not coming from New York. It's like coming from Morocco, and it's coming from different cities, Morocco.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that was, I traveled, so I knew this, but for a lot of people, it was like, wait, this is coming from there. It was like, yeah, they have laptops and they have, Fruity Loops. And so they're actually able to make stuff happen there instead of being filtered. And so I'm really curious to see what this iconic instrument and music and heritage around it, and especially with Yousra, with you being in front, where it's like, thank God we've got this now. It could grow. It could become one of those opportunities, and in academia to call it like post-colonial, or post-colonial, where it's like you're influencing the colonial, and then suddenly Moroccan influence is permeating itself throughout the world. And you're seeing this sometimes in Brazilian music, Cuban music, where it's like a small place suddenly becomes global. And the same thing could happen where this becomes global, becomes part of cuisine, fashion, design, all of those things. Those things are all beautiful, but music, especially here, that's the thing where the heart kind of opens up and you have that healing, and you don't have to understand it. That's the thing. It's like, it's not singing a particular song that you need to know the lyrics to kind of get it. It's not poetry, but it is something about the vibration that connects. And then suddenly everybody is speaking the same language. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm jazzed that you're doing this. And when I first heard it, I was like, this is freaking awesome. Great work. So what's the plan now? Not to put you on the spot, but you have a record, you're working on new stuff. I mean, it's not like you're like, touring all over the world. You must have time to come up with new things and new ideas. What's the plan?
Yeah, we want to meet the people over the world. We want to make gigs to meet people, to share the good energy, meet our listeners. A lot of people send us videos and message to say, "Hey, come to this country, come to this country." Mm-hmm. Now we want to make a lot of gigs, and I don't know.
Yeah, we have the chance to tour which is great even in these conditions. We also try, and we also make new songs, but it's not gonna be for now. Like the ideas are here, and we're working really step by step.
We,
We're also
we want to go in Morocco for fix the stuff.
to get more inspiration.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And also we learn in new instruments. Like for us, learning is something sacred. It's something beautiful. He's started to play flute, and I started kamedengoni and ribab. So and with these instruments, we have new ideas that's coming, because when you just start to play a new instruments, you get this its manner of playing. Each instrument is unique, and you can translate this into this manner into another instruments, which is very interesting, and it can open a lot of doors and ideas.
Awesome. I noticed that you were playing in a goni.
Yeah, I just started, and yeah,
Do you have it?
You know.
Do you have it right there?
we have it on the other room, but I can bring it in here.
Bring it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's okay. It's not like a studio. That's awesome. So you're continuing to explore. And do you think you're going to go to Morocco and explore? So literally, you're going to go on tour and play with musicians. I mean, Gnawa is open in a sense, so somebody can come in. Oh,
Sorry.
okay. So is that a kora?
Yeah, it's a kamedengoni.
Ah, perfect. That's another instrument that kind of like what's happening here. This is beautiful.
It's very similar to Gnawa music. Like it's from also Malian origins, and the gumbre we think is also came from this area, and we can find a lot of similarities, and also with the rhythm.
That's beautiful. And you are living a good life.
We try to.
That's good. That's good.
So
That's really
this is
wonderful.
this beautiful instruments called the kamedengoni.
Ah, perfect. Got to get you come in. Okay, let's. We're gonna play some more music, and I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of Sama. Look forward to welcoming you here. Look forward to hopefully seeing you at Womex. Look forward to playing your music, and look forward to seeing what happens. It feels like this is just the beginning. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be well. Take care.
The same.
Thanks a lot.